The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories, share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Lately I've been interviewing people regarding football. I'm not a big fan of football, if you know me, but I'm kind of getting fascinated. Today we've got Theo in the house.
How we doing?
He's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
bigger than me, by the way. And he talks about football and all of that, and I'll let him tell his story. So nice to have you here today, Theo.
Oh no, you're too kind, mate. Yeah, I'm a Bolton fan. I make football content on YouTube. I've just surpassed 1 million subscribers on there. Thank you, mate. Very kind of you. Well, I'm 21 years old. Been doing it for like 8-9 years. So started when I was really young, during school, and ever since just continued to grow it, and it's gone well.
That's fascinating. So did it have steady growth? Was there times where you thought this isn't going the right way?
100%, yeah. 100%, especially at the beginning in the first few years. There were times where I really thought, what's the point? Like, I should just focus on school. It's not going anywhere. But I just kept going. It was that consistency that I think eventually opened up a successful route to getting more views and subscribers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Just consistently posting every day. Mm-hmm. It was really tough at the beginning, you know.
How many times a day do you post?
I post 5 or 6 times a week, which is crazy. It's my full-time job. However, in a usual week, back in the day, I would be posting 3 or 4 times. Still a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So when you say post, because obviously as a podcaster and a vlogger myself, I post an interview every day, but then I vlog every day.
Oh, cool.
But I've only vlogged the interview every day recently because I've got a backlog. I've got like 200 episodes that need to be published.
That's amazing, yeah.
So I've just got to kind of get them out there and retag people
for sure.
The interviews, a load of paperwork and a load of things. But ideally I want to do an interview every other day and stuff like that. But I'm really interested to hear your journey about why you started, you know, what kit you were using, what the situation was.
I think I grew up in Greater Manchester, in a place called Thogden. It was quite a nice place to grow up. I've got my dad's English and lived in the northwest most of his life. My mum's Russian, so we spent a couple years in Russia growing up. That wasn't easy, of course, especially now with that being in a mess, can't see half my family. I feel like growing up, I've always just had a bit of hunger in me.
So why wasn't it easy when you were growing up in Russia?
It wasn't easy because I didn't speak Russian and I was a kid, and I'd be going to like nursery and I just couldn't speak to anyone. Imagine you're the only English kid and you've gone to Russia to live for a few years because of work, because your parents work. You feel like you're on your own.
So your mum didn't speak Russian to you as a child?
No, because she didn't want me to be associated with Russia from a young point. She wasn't proud of her own country because she was brought up in communism and very tough times. And then she basically, the only reason we went back for a certain amount of time was because we had to for my dad's work.
Do you mind, what does your dad do? He's not KGB or nothing?
No. He's an accountant. He worked for an accountancy firm in St. Petersburg, which is the second biggest city in Russia. Okay. And it's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I want to go there. I want to go
Quite
there.
Tough now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, you feel a bit outnumbered.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. So I went to live in Kenya. I don't speak Kiswahili or any African dialect. So a lot of the time you're just standing there.
Yeah.
If people don't speak English.
Yeah.
And or hoping people translate for you.
I know that feeling.
And that kind of thing. So I understand what you're saying in that respect. So you were in Russia for how long?
2 years.
2 years. And then what happened? The contract ended for your dad? He just come back?
My dad found another job in England, and ever since then we've lived in, 3 different places in England. First of all, Harrogate in Yorkshire, and then Thogden, which is Greater Manchester, and then we moved to London about 8-9 years ago, when my channel started. So it's purely been in London with my channel, and I've been through London schools, decided not to go to university, took a big decision. My mum wasn't happy with me, but I went full-time YouTube, and ever since then it's come off, and I'm now on 1 million subs, so I think I made the right call.
So 1 million subs on YouTube. Are you on Instagram as well?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so what's your channel's name?
It's called Thogden, Thogden.
See, you know this is a pro because he straight away says the name and he spells it out after.
Yeah. Because how many times do you think I've had to do that?
But it's true that you have to do it. You have to. If you say your thing, you spell it out, because if they misspell it, they just move on. They just move on. They're not going to think and that stuff. So, where did that name come from?
The name came from, well, it's my nickname. One of my mates gave it to me when I was about 12 years old. My actual name is Thogden, so Thogden was always just kind of a simple way of representing myself and being different from the other Theos in school in your year.
Okay. So there's quite a few other Theos.
There was a couple other Theos at my school in London.
You should try having a name like Simon.
Oh God, yeah.
There's quite a few Simons.
Yeah.
There's Black Simon, Small Black Simon, Tall White Simon, all this kind of thing.
You've had it all.
Yeah. So, Bolton, was Bolton your father's team as well?
Bolton is my father's team and my granddad's. That's why I'm a Bolton fan. It runs in the family. Couldn't change even when I moved here.
What league are Bolton in?
League One, third division. Good team, pushing for promotion. But we had our glory days with JJ Okocha, the Nigerian prince. We love him. We miss him. He had more flair than anybody else I've ever seen.
Oh, is it? Where's he gone now?
Well, he's retired now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like I said, I don't.
That was the old generations when we were in the Premier League and smashing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if he walks through Bolton, that Nigerian guy, everybody's kind of.
Oh, he's a god.
Yeah.
He's a god in Bolton. Seriously, he's an absolute hero. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, what was it like growing up in Bolton?
Growing up in Bolton was. I grew up near Bolton, in a place called Bowden, which was very nice. I was lucky to bring in quite a wealthy upbringing compared to most areas of Manchester. I went to Bowden Church School, was just like a normal school. I wouldn't say I got bullied, but there was definitely like times where it was tough. I didn't start my channel then, but I think that's the time I went from boy to man, shall I say, in primary school, where you've got these tough northern kids who are just trying to put you in your place. And I think that's part of the reason I just caught an eye for it very early on. And realised that, you know, if you just follow what the schools want you to follow, then you're not going to differentiate, you're not going to make yourself special, you're not going to do anything unique. You have to just spot it yourself. It's all on yourself. No one's there to help you. And I realised early on that, you know what, all this wasted time doing homework, going to school, I'm just going to try a YouTube channel. And then I finally had an earning. I started a business from a young age with the help of my dad, who, like I said, is in accountancy, so he helped me with the paying tax side and business. So I made my move early, and I stuck to my first move.
So this was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So we're talking 2016.
Yes.
No, is it 2016?
Earlier.
2014.
Yeah, so 2022. I've been doing it since 2013, 2014. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So I don't want you to give away too much detail, but how many subs did you have before you got your first payment?
You get payments very early on YouTube, but it'll just be like $50 for a month.
Is it?
Yeah, so you'll start and you'll get some views in. That's when I started. Now there's a bracket. You have to get over 20,000 views and 500 subscribers in a month to receive an earning. But before it was anything, and you just have to sign up with an AdSense account.
Okay,
yeah.
So 20,000 views and
500 subscribers per month, yeah.
So you've got to keep 500 subscribers or increase by 500 every time.
Once you break that barrier, then you can earn a salary.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a long way to go. I thought I was doing all right with I just nearly peaked 5,000 views last month on taxichronicles.
Well, you'll keep going.
Yeah,
if you're posting every day, just think about it. Times it by 30, and you can easily break that 20k. You just need one video to go crazy. That's the thing with YouTube. You just need one big video, and you've done it.
Yeah, I think that that interview with the Crawley football owner.
Yeah.
That will do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I reckon that will do it. So
the Crawley owner.
I'll tell you what, we'll kind of flip in space. You can ask me questions about on this interview.
Yeah.
But basically, this guy, I'll try and be short on it. The American guy.
Yes.
He started off gambling, and when he started off gambling, then he started to get to know, when he's in college, he started to get to know all the NBA players. You know, all the NBA, a lot of them are in college and stuff like that. And once he got to know like the key main player for each team, so like each 52nd state, he knew the key player for each team. And then what he did, he found out from that player every week who's sick, who's got personal problems, all that thing, and then he's doing his gambling like predicting.
That's incredible. Yeah.
And then he was so good. It's like Sky found you, ESPN found him.
Yes.
And then they said, we want you to be the spokesperson for the gambling side of their channel.
That's special.
So he got paid loads of money for that. And then they said, we want to renew your contract, and he said, no, there's something called cryptos come out, NFT, and this is in 2002.
2002. Okay, then he's up good.
He went on Bitcoin, and Ethereum and that, and he made so much money, and that then he decided he's gonna buy a football team. He went to buy Bradford football team. They said they don't want no Yanks owning there. And the corporate people, the fans didn't want the Yanks, and the corporate people didn't trust his crypto money.
Yes.
And stuff. So he said, okay. So he went to Crawley. He bought Crawley, and then listen to what he's done. If you want a season ticket for Crawley, you buy it in form of an NFT.
Are you serious?
And I'm serious. You could vlog about this as well. Yeah. And then what you do, or we could do a Zoom on your channel and I can explain the interviews. But what you do, when you buy this NFT, you get access to the locker room talks, you get access to the training things, so via Zoom or video, however they do it. And on top of that, you get the full kit free.
Wow.
And I don't know how much NFT is, by the way. Yeah. And then also, which is more important for a fan, especially a fan like you for Bolton, you get to make an executive decision with how the club spend their finance. So I'll give you a perfect example, and this is a true story. They play on AstroTurf, Crawley.
Yes.
They should be playing on turf. So
normal grass,
To buy the turf pitch is $230,000 a year.
Okay.
They can't afford to buy another player and do that. So he said to the fans, the crypto fans, NFT fans, what should we do? They voted on buying another player. So he said, okay, we buy another player. Then he said to them, what position? Where are we weak? Yeah. And they all said midfield. So they said, okay, we bought they're buying a midfield player. So now, as a fan, you're invested. You
100%.
haven't just got NFTs, you're making things. So you can imagine it. You're upstairs doing on computer, and your girlfriend said, come down and watch this TV. And you're like, no, not now, woman. I'm watching a thing. I've got to make a decision. I've got an hour to You see what I mean?
That's unreal.
You're real serious.
Feel like you're part of the board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because they're listening to you. And on top of that, he's turned around, because he owns it with another Yank. He said, if we're not handling this club properly, you're not happy as fans, by 2 years' time, then we will employ somebody who will be making more of an informed decision, because they don't know about football. Yeah. But if you think of this, there's 6 teams in the country who make more money outside the country than inside the country. Liverpool, Manchester, Arsenal, Tottenham, that Chelsea, that kind of thing. His team now is number 7.
That's insane.
And they're second division.
That's incredible.
Now, think of this. What he's looked at is this. NFTs, or mainly Americans do like NFT, the geeky, what have you, all those kind of people. So he said to them, but America doesn't own a football team. They're not interested in football, it's for women. Yeah. People like yourself, it's hereditary. You're not going to change your colours. Granddad, so on, back all the way back. So he said to the Yanks, if you want to have a soccer team, the NFT community, we're the NFT team to have. So
they're gaining an American fan base now.
Yes, so all their fans can watch everything from their computers. So they got multiple screens. Probably you have, I have at home. You can just have that running and still be making your decision. So that's my team.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
He's increased his membership. They had 700,000 fans or whatever. Now he increased it by 11 times.
Wow.
In 4 months of owning a team.
That's spectacular, right?
Now Liverpool tried to copy him.
Serious? Did they?
And do it the NFT thing. Yeah. Now, hear the joke. Okay. When they tried to copy him, the Liverpool fans, being Scousers, went, bollocks. I can't do a Scouser accent. Yeah. We're not buying that. You're just trying to get our money. Yeah. because they don't understand the concept of what to be given. I think don't quote me, it's another big team like Arsenal or whatever. So Arsenal when I picked him up from Brent, he went to see Brent's pitch, you know, for QPR, where they train. It's really nice.
Yeah, very
I'm
good.
not into football, but it's tied up well for North London, North West London. And they were coming down. One team, big Premier team, was said to him, listen, we know you're doing this NFT thing. We don't understand it. We just want to do a collaboration with you. However you want us to do it, we're going to do it. So I said to him, what you want to be doing, you want to do a tier system. You make intellectual property, your algorithms. He makes the algorithms for these things.
Sure.
And then if you're in tier, if Premier the top league?
Premier League.
Yeah, so Premier League, you'll be paying 10 million to use your algorithm for that year.
Yeah.
If you're in the first division and second division, you'd probably pay $250,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because everybody's going to want to use it.
Yeah.
Because now, if the fans are getting involved in that decision-making thing, you're going to get more dedication, because when people are dedicated, they end up spending more money out of choice. Anyway.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and they feel part of the system. But the funny thing was, he said to me he feels a bit bad about it because he really he studied to be a psychiatrist to help people. I said, okay. And he said he thinks he's considering going back to psychiatry to help people. And I said to him, stop there, my friend. I said, you've got to look at it like this. There's lots of domestic issues that occur when someone's team loses.
Yeah.
All these problems. Teams are always going to lose. But what you've done, you've given people a position, a purpose. So people who feel depressed, people who feel all these things, now they're involved. So keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you're helping a lot more people than you would be helping one person on a sofa at a time. So
For
you
sure.
can only see about 4 or 5 people a day.
Of course.
And he went, yeah, thank you. But I told him, make sure you do the intellectual property.
He's got to do it.
Yeah. So that's
Pretty
my
clever.
gift to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that story there.
That's an amazing story.
If you do want me to talk it again, then we could sort out something and talk. And
That is spectacular,
It's really good. It's a good interview. I think it's about 47 minutes or something like that. And
Yeah,
it's in
he's
two
got
parts.
a full story ahead.
Yeah.
But it just shows that when you take a risk in life, and even though you feel as if when he had that ESPN contract extension, he could have just gone the easy option and extended that, earned 6 figures, felt like he was living life happy. But he took a risk and got into crypto, where no one's proven that crypto was going to be booming like it was in 2002. So he was not thinking about the hundreds of thousands, he was thinking about the millions. Now, I don't know why he's buying a football club.
I'll tell you why. See,
for a fan base?
No. He was going to buy, I said, why don't you buy an NBA or one of those teams? He said, the problem with NBAs, and that's the basketball league and American football leagues, is that if you're in tier 1, like Premiership equivalent, if you do badly all year, you don't drop down a league. You still stay in that number 1 league. But with football, you can get relegated.
Yes.
So with his system, he can get people from like Crawley at the bottom. I believe that's second division at the bottom, I believe.
Are they second bottom?
Well, when I say, I don't know about football, they're second division.
Oh, okay.
So that's the
League
bottom.
2, League 2.
Yeah, sorry,
that's 4th division, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the bottom, is that
Yeah,
bottom?
the 4th one. Yeah, it's the bottom professional league.
Yeah, so he can get them from there to the top.
You think
about this.
You think he can get them to the top?
Of course. Think about if you with that IP thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're charging the Premier Leagues 10 million or a million each.
Yeah.
How many teams in the Premier League?
20.
Okay, it's 20 million in your books straight away.
But that's if they're going to say yes.
IP agent, NFTs and all those things, and you may not know how to do it, but if remember, intellectual property, that means people can't copy it.
Yeah.
So they have to use it. Even if they use it for a year.
What is it exactly he's got? Because I see a lot of clubs now, they try to do the NFT thing.
Well, I don't know the finer details. I don't know what he's explained, and I'm not an NFT person.
Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend it at this point. It's just it's tough now.
He knows how. Obviously, it's all about accumulating fans. So there's fans, people who are not into football that are around the world. So I'm not sure if India they're into football as much. I don't know. Yeah. But if you think about those continents and those places, it's more money, more.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if it comes off, it will be an amazing move for the club.
Is it worth trying that for $1 million?
Yeah.
You have to.
It's up to his decision.
It's not just that. Is it worth trying it? It's also a case of what is your enemies doing?
Yeah. It's true.
Doing it,
I saw Crawley Town tweeted yesterday. They said, we are scouting the Sidemen charity match for players. They've got scouts that'll be watching the Sidemen match, which I'm going to now. This is why we're going to the Valley, Charlton Athletic Stadium, because there's a YouTube football match going on where they've sold it out, 30,000 people. They sold it out in about half an hour. So it just shows you like how crazy it is. Crawley Town are so dialed into social media and the platform that they tweeted saying that they're going to be watching for like these YouTubers. They're going to be scouting them. So they might give the best YouTuber a pro contract. But a lot of Football League clubs have been having a go saying what they're doing. They're so dumb. Like, what?
Don't
like,
watch that.
Honestly, they don't know what they're talking about.
That's like Noah and the Ark.
Yeah.
You know his Ark. You know, why are you building the boat?
Everyone just questioning things for no reason.
Yeah. If you don't
Crawley are so clever.
If you don't understand something, you just sit back and watch.
Yeah, and watch them. If they get the best player and they hire him, they're going to get even more fans in the ground. More people are going to buy their NFTs. Everything. This all links to a bigger picture. They've been thinking of ways to link YouTubers to Crawley Town FC. This is their way. Like, and now it's all adding together after the story you told me that something special was going on at Crawley.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know before I got in this cab. So, big up to the Taxi Chronicles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, you can hashtag us when you do the thing. You know what? I need to get this episode out. So as soon as I get that,
please do.
Episode and the other episode
After,
out,
put them together.
Yeah, well, they're long, but people
get the Crawley one out soon.
Yeah,
I think that could do really well.
Yeah, I'll tag you in, and then it's interesting, and it's really, really interesting. So back to you.
Yes.
So you were saying you came back to England. You were doing
conquered Russia.
You conquered.
Then
conquered Russia.
Decided to conquer England. It's funny because I actually went back out to Russia for the second time properly for the World Cup. I spent a month there, and it was genuinely, it blew up my channel. I ended up being on the news, the face of Channel 1. Vladimir Putin's channel, I was the face of for that month.
Oh, yeah.
And looking back, it's kind of crazy.
What did your
my mum
say?
was like, ugh. She was in two minds. All her Russian friends were saying, wow, Theo's gone famous in Russia. Because of my videos that I was doing during the World Cup, where I was saying basically like Russia have been really welcoming to England fans, and there were expected to be loads of fights and trouble, and there was none of that. And I basically vlogged about it every day, and it just went crazy.
Yeah, Putin would like that, though.
It went mad.
But you know what, Putin
loved it.
Just to jump in there,
Yeah.
my friend does security.
Yes.
And he's doing it for the Brazilian football team.
Okay.
And I said they were in Russia at one point, and then when it come to the cup, I said, you're not going to be with Brazil and what have you? He said, no, because Putin has told all the underworld that they must not embarrass Mother Russia.
That's crazy,
and he said, to keep them happy, they will do the security for each team.
Yep.
Yeah? So everybody was kind of looked after. You all get paid, but don't embarrass Mother Russia. But you know Putin, isn't it?
He's
crazy.
He's
not a person you want to cross.
I know, you really don't want to.
So
we were worried that we might get the call up to I forgot the name, the home of Moscow. You know where he what's it called?
Go on.
It's the area in the middle of Moscow where he lives. I forgot the name.
Square.
Well, wherever he lives, we were worried that he was going to invite. At the time, we were just thinking madness if we meet Vladimir Putin. But
yeah, but there's nothing in that. You still meet him.
Yeah.
Because
I would have said yes.
Yeah, of course. You know why you meet him?
Why?
Because you don't follow what the news say.
You
meet people, you see what they have to say for themselves.
Exactly.
You may see something and then you can.
There's always two sides to the story. Back then, obviously, it was a different situation to now.
But even now, I'd still meet him.
Yeah.
Because he's asking you thing, and then you're going to give your honest opinion later on.
Yeah.
To me, you just be
the news give you the story they want to hear. You never hear the other side. That goes a long way. That's a really good point, actually.
They've got their business agenda.
Yeah.
You see, in that respect.
It's a good point.
Yeah. So, so you talked about Putin.
Yeah.
And it all went well, and Putin loved you.
There was talk shows about us. Are they Russian spies? Are they just normal English fans? People thought we were Russian spies. It's funny you mentioned that earlier about KGB.
Okay.
Yeah. My dad because he has businesses in Russia, some of the locals who are fans of the opposition party of Putin, called Navalny, they were supporting the opinion that thought my dad was a spy. We were spies or paid for by KGB. I can confirm on this podcast that isn't true.
Yeah.
I have no dirty Russian money. As we drive through Chelsea, by the way, Abramovich's ex-home ground. You know about Abramovich?
Yeah. But
Got
he's half Ukrainian and
Yes.
half Russian.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they took his stuff.
And his daughter, well, his daughter's around my age, and she was posting on Instagram stories just saying, "Don't listen to everything you hear on the news."
Yeah,
I feel bad.
I feel
do.
bad for him.
These guys get kicked out of the country, and something that isn't related to them becomes their problem. It's mad.
But you know what my thing is this?
Yeah.
You've been taking money from the man for years.
Mm.
I don't know, 20 years. I don't know how long he's done Chelsea for, whatever. Yeah, he's boomed the economy. He started giving out the hotel for free for the NHS staff.
He did, yeah.
And all these other things. And then you wake up one day like a dictator and say, we're taking your stuff.
Crazy.
And then you turn
That's what the
around
government
and say,
did.
Putin's a dictator. That don't make sense to me.
Doesn't make sense, no.
Doesn't make sense to me. And I was having a debate with my barber, saying I reckon that will come back on England in the sense that once this is cleared out, there'll be lawsuits against the thing to say you took illegal,
100%, yeah.
UN law or ICC and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, and things like that.
Mm.
It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one,
It is.
And stuff. And personally, I think the Ukraine-Russia is a domestic thing. It's not us.
See, the problem with
involved.
Russia-Ukraine now is, and this is exclusive on this podcast because I've not spoken about it on my channel, a lot of people are asking me my thoughts being Russian. And obviously it's absolutely horrible, but it goes both ways. Everyone's saying free Ukraine, but Ukraine are bombing Russia. There's Russians that are dying that have done nothing wrong. You can't just blame it all on one country, is what I would say.
I didn't know Ukraine were bombing Russia.
They are.
Ah.
Yeah, they are. They're bombing the villages that are Russian areas nearby the border. It's going both ways now. Of course, it's Russia's fault for starting this and wanting something back that they previously had. That's not how life works, right? But it's going both ways now. It's becoming a real problem. We are actually currently flying my grandma back from St. Petersburg to London to get her out of this mess.
Okay.
Because it's getting really bad. We're worried.
Mm-hmm.
About how the war goes and stuff.
I hear what you're saying, man. I hear that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, and your dad? How does he take it? Does he see it just through English eyes, or does he see it on both sides?
He sees both sides.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, because he knows he's got lots of friends in Russia, lots of friends in England. Mostly lived in England, but worked in Russia. And when post-communism, there was a lot of opportunity. It created lots of land wasn't owned by anyone. And you could just pick it up. You could own loads of houses for next to nothing. And within years, the prices of them went 100x. Because the economy went back to normal from communism, where everything was government owned and they gave it back to the people. And it went in from 1p, imagine. And that was an opportunity. So a lot of my dad's friends who are Russian just made the easiest money of their life going through that time. But now it's just they want too much. Everyone wants too much. Russia's a big country, very powerful. They're trying to get things that isn't theirs, and
they want to be like the Arabs, where they have that untold wealth. Because Arabs and Russians are very similar in
certain ways.
Yeah, show
Yeah, they like to show off. Yeah,
show off with that respect.
Exactly.
Image, all that kind of thing.
And it's a worrying time. You'd have thought a few years ago that war was a time of the past, and we all laugh about it like, oh, we used to have wars and all this, and now that it's creeping back in this day and age is shocking.
I don't know what your opinion is on this part, but
yeah.
I kind of look at it like we've inflamed the situation as the West and America and England. I know Putin said to Clinton one time, what would you think about if Russia joined NATO? And Clinton kind of actually insulted him with the response as if to say, no, never. And I think, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because you should have let them join, and then there's the old saying, keep your friends close but your enemies closer.
Yeah.
If you're all on the same team now, you don't need to
There's
worry
no war
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a solution.
And then also, but you'd rather build missile bases along the border.
Do you know what gets in the way of that? Ego.
Yeah, of course. Ego, pride. And your main objective should be peace.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you.
And I think Boris's take on doing all this stuff to the Russians is just inflamed.
He shouldn't have done that.
Even I saw your models, your stunning Russian models, and was it some Gucci bag or handbag made?
Yeah.
I can't remember what brand it was. And they was cutting up the bags. they're saying, I'm thinking that's one big mistake.
Absolutely,
Gucci has made there, because you're never going to get Russian money again.
Yeah,
you
correct.
Just cut off thing, and it's going to be.
It's a big mistake.
Yeah.
And a lot of corporates are making that error, because you do seem to forget in times like this how important and powerful they really are.
And also McDonald's, all they do is McDonald's says, "Oh, we're not selling burgers," so you just walk in, and you run the business yourself.
Yeah.
You just lost business. You're not going to get it back.
No, you won't. Not at all.
You're not going to get it back, and stuff like such is life. So with this football now.
Yes.
So you have do you play football?
I don't play. I obviously play Sunday League with my friends. I've had times where I film my matches.
Okay.
For my channel, but I go to games. And I vlog my day, the experience, meeting loads of fans, all about the match, what happens. Everything in that day is filmed and uploaded. And then the other part of the channel is predictions. So before matches, we predict what's going to happen in that game. From goal scorers to players to yellow cards to red cards to everything.
Oh, yeah.
And we also talk about the games after they've happened. So it's all about football. It's all related to once.
A proper presenter then, really.
Yeah, we do every angle.
Yeah, that's what they do. So how do you do these predictions, like things like yellow cards and all that? What's the...
If we often, yellow cards is quite hard to predict, right? But if you know someone's an aggressive footballer, you're going to say, oh yeah, they might get a booking in their derby when they're playing against a team that they don't like, you know?
Okay.
That sort of thing is predictable.
So it's not. I was thinking along the lines of like the Crawley football owner, where he had the intel of so and so's up having domestic issues at home, and he's got a temper, so it's going to kick off.
So he knows he's getting booked.
Yeah,
that's something I'd like to do in the future. Get intel and then be able to tell my subscribers, yeah, this is going to happen. My best betting tips are from yellow cards. I'm good at judging past results and working out, okay, when these teams face, this guy gets a yellow card. When they face this type of style of play, he gets a yellow. And I've told my friends multiple times, I've done it on my channel, and almost every time got it correct. It's just when you do it gambling, you're risking your own earnings. You're like, I'm not as much of a risk taker as the Crawley town owner. He was made for the top. He was made for the top. Do you know what I mean? He saw every opportunity he's ever got in his life and smashed it. That's what I want to be. I'd like to give predictions out.
I need to connect you with this guy. He's one of the biggest listened to episodes. He started when he was 12. He's one of those. He's a personal shopper, but he does it for the footballers.
Yeah.
And so he knows all the footballers.
What's his name?
I've forgotten his name. It's on the podcast. But if I
was he in your car? I might know his name.
He's interviewed in the car.
Was he called Sam?
I can't remember.
Leon?
His name. I can't remember his name. But
yeah.
If I connect you with him, I think you two could probably work something out, especially if he knows all the players of different teams. Because they invite him to the clubs and all that. But he's 15. This is a couple of years ago. He's 15 now. He's been doing it for 3 years. He was too young to go to the clubs.
Oh, wow.
But they just saw him as, first it was like he was with his idols, and now they just see him as one of the guys. So yeah, come with us to the party. Come with us.
Of course they do.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But he makes good money doing what he does, sorting out their clothes.
I bet he does.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
I know someone who does that. He's the biggest who does it. He's called Sam Morgan. He went to a similar school to me, same area, same age as me, 21. And the only thing he has now, he's just bored. He's found it so easy to make money, be successful, live the dream. He's now bored. There's no more goal. Like, he's done everything he wants to do. They've cracked the code.
Yeah, he can still find. He's done everything he wants to do in that field.
Yeah.
There's still other fields.
100%.
Because it's like, remember the Crawley owner, not to always big him up, but if you figure he's gone from gambling himself to doing the predictions, to doing the ESN, to doing Bitcoin, to doing NFTs, to owning a football club.
And when you think about it, life is all about adaptation. How do you change from one market to another and start smashing more things at the same time? That's it. That is life.
Yeah.
That is how you expand. And if you can do it and you can conquer that, then you're successful. If you can't, then you'll be on the same level. And that's what I'm trying to work out right now. Like, where do I go from YouTube? Do I start doing regular TikToks? Do I do more tweets? What social media? What was the next big thing for me?
You know what I would do? You're on TikTok already?
Yeah.
And so you just do snippets of highlights and drop them on there.
I do that, yeah.
That's what I just focus on doing that because that's what TikTok's a clickbait. I interviewed this guy who worked for Google, and have you heard of bites, snacks, and main?
Bites, snacks, and main.
Okay, bites are 8 seconds and nothing more.
Okay.
It's something that you have on TikTok or whatever, and or the shorts on YouTube, and it grabs your attention. Oh, that was interesting, and ideally you're trying to draw them into going to your main episode, your main body.
Yeah.
You might need quite a few bites for them to see quite a few bites before they actually bother delve in, because it's, when people are doing things. Snacks are a bit bigger. They go up to 3 minutes, and then you've got the main, which is your whole episode. And that's how Google work it out.
Okay.
Yes, they deal with bites, snacks, and main. So that's
interesting.
Yeah. So they.
Currently, I'm doing TikToks, which is up to a minute long content, and then YouTube videos are average around 15 minutes. Okay. So I think that's my main.
Yeah.
I don't do hours of content. Maybe in the future I'll do a podcast, but right now that's what I'm looking at. I've got the bites and I've got the snack/main region of time. The problem with TikTok and shorts and everything, you can't remember when someone makes a short. Try and think right now the last 5 YouTube shorts that you watched. You can't think of it.
That's the beauty of it. It's not about remembering it. It's about just getting that person. It's like a hors d'oeuvre.
But what's the point if you can't remember it?
No, but you don't want people to remember it. You want people to go to the main based off the short.
Yeah, but the turnaround. This is the problem. The turnaround between the shorts and the main product you have is so small that it's not worth it.
Well, I don't know about that, because I read something with YouTube the other day where they were saying how they're promoting the shorts more because you're getting that more views and more build up, which is leading to your main eventually. Yeah. Remember, the Google guy, he's the one who's introduced me to this. So it's kind
of
a bit like. Have you
had a podcast with him?
Yeah, we did. He had a hair transplant.
Oh, really? Yeah.
His head was all bleeding. I thought someone hit him with a baseball bat on his head.
But I know. I've seen that on the flight back from Turkey. I've seen the person next to me had the same thing. Yeah. Freaks me out.
Yeah, it doesn't. Don't listen. If it's gonna go, just let it go.
Yeah.
That's me, innit?
Yeah.
I just got the landing pad and that's it. But but they designed it that I believe they know what they're doing in the sense of things. So for us, you might think, but if you try it, because I remember I got 504 views. Doesn't sound like a lot in comparison to you, but for me, I was like, even my guy who edits them said, Simon, you're doing well on you see that one that's got 504 views, and when I noticed it had gone onto the shorts, so everybody had clicked on it, blah blah blah, and it counted. Do you see
That's interesting, yeah.
So they're doing it because obviously they're fighting with Instagram and all these other things there.
Of course they are.
So they're designing something, and I spend a lot of time just watching shorts now.
Do you watch TikTok or shorts? Because there seems to be a big
TikTok's
clash.
Yeah, I know.
TikTok was the original. That's why YouTube Shorts made YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
Because they saw TikTok as a threat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's also if someone's doing something well, you copy in the highest form of flattery. In that respect, I do a mixture of both.
Okay.
But sometimes I get annoyed with their algorithms because their algorithms kind of put you in a position where you're. If let's say I like David Goggins, David Goggins. They're just going to bombard me with everything David Goggins or Andrew Tate. And it's like, mate, all right, I like that, but what else have you got out there? Do you see what
That's
I mean?
the problem I find with YouTube Shorts, actually.
Yeah, the algorithm is all wrong.
Yeah, I've got like every video now is Andrew Tate because I watched one of them, and then I go on TikTok and it's a bit more of a mix. So they because they're the pioneers. I think their algorithm is better at finding the full character of you. Rather than shorts, which has just started, but it will grow with time.
Do you know how what TikTok is based on? It's based on a slot machine. So in a slot machine, you pull the lever down and let go and it goes. That's why you do that flick thing. It's a simulation thing. And obviously slot machines are based on pigeons getting a seed. So you pull the seed away, and the pigeon goes for the seed, you pull it away until the point where he gets peed off, he doesn't want the seed anymore. Yeah. And then you just give him the seed. And then you put another one out there and he starts again. And
that's interesting.
That's how they work.
So they won't just give you the main video that everyone wants to see. That's why the shorts are outdoing the videos. Because in YouTube, normal videos, they just suggest you the one you want to see. And once you see that, you go to bed happy, right? You've seen the video you've seen, you don't see anything new.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so many new viewers to shorts over YouTube.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I see. So with all this YouTube channel that you've been doing, what's the thing that you've learned that you wish you knew when you had started?
That's a really good question. How to expand.
How did you expand?
From a young age, if I was really dialed in, I would have up-leveled things and got more people involved and took more investment, took more risks. And yeah, got employees, got an office. Yes, you're not profiting right now, you're reinvesting everything you've owned, but it's for something much bigger. Right now, it's kind of just profit-taking and you're not spending much. You're trying to be clever.
You're not reinvesting.
Exactly, you're just being like, oh, I'm happy with that. But like your mate, who's the Crawley Town owner, he would start off and everything he owned, he would reinvest until he makes the big bucks. And even then, he's reinvesting crazy amounts until he's the new pioneer of so many different new things. And that is what I would tell my old self. I wish I could have done that. It's difficult.
No, that's really deep. So what's your setup now? Do you have employees?
I've got an editor who I pay monthly. And then the rest is freelance. I've got graphic designer, freelance, I pay him per go. And I've got a thumbnail guy, I pay him per go. The only one I've got on a contract is my editor. And he works hard for me, he really does.
Is your editor,
and I pay him well.
Is he English or Russian? Or?
He's English, yeah.
Because I've spoken to this lady, she designs apps.
Okay.
And she said she designed this app and she's like 150 million, whatever. And now she's designed a new app on this team. She sold off her shares in that app, and she said this app's going to make her a billionaire. And what she says, well, I'm telling you, that she employs people in Indonesia, Philippines, but she pays them American wages.
Wow.
And she said if she gives them a job, they always go way beyond the Call of Duty.
Serious?
Yeah, you don't have. They don't come to you with any problems or anything. For when they understand, they just run with it. They take it so seriously. And she said that's the future. Most of her staff come from a country where the economy is not as strong, but they're more than dedicated, because as far as they can see, that's a job for life.
Yeah.
It's not a stepping stone. So that may be something that you want to consider
Mm.
in future.
But will they understand it and be able to?
Well, that's the thing.
You have to learn
the people, but then also if the money's right at a certain point, then they will make sure they understand.
Yeah, I see.
Do you see what I mean? That's the kind of thing I missed out with my editor and stuff.
For some markets, that's a really good idea, and it's cheaper labour as well. So you can upscale, and have the budgets to be able to pay for that. If you want to do that in England, everyone's getting older, they've got families, they've got people, they've got to pay things, rent, etc. It's not as easy to upscale in England with lower budgets. So yeah, there's definitely some potential in that.
So you speak about your channel as if it's a proper business.
Of course it is, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting, because you kind of, from what I am, you get different kind of vloggers where some people are just like, I'll just take the money and run.
Yeah.
And they don't think about tax or anything like that. It's a bit like the OnlyFans girls.
Yeah, they're crazy. But they're more dialed into money than you think. They just won't talk about it because they're making so much that whoever watches their videos are after a piece of the cake. Yeah. OnlyFans girls make ridiculous amounts of money. Like, it's out of this world. They've cracked the code. But how long that goes on for, I don't know.
That's my next thing. It's going to go as long as until you're old news.
Yeah, so there you go.
It's probably like worse than football. You've got a 5-year...
Well, for football, as a footballer, it's the same problem. For me, it's not, because I could be 35 still talking about football. People still listen to pundits when they're 60, 70 years old. Look at Graham Souness. You know, if you're talking about football, it's got real longevity. Especially with me and my dad, we can always have that relationship where we just talk about football together. It's what we do on the channel. It will never change. So I'm not trying to take any major risks because I don't want to mess what I've got. I know that I've got something valuable. You understand? And with other people, they always can take sensible risks, because it could come off and make their career amazing in the short term. But yeah, it's stepping stones. One thing I would have told myself as a younger person starting a channel is be closer to the people who dominate the market. So I'm going to a Sidemen charity match right now. I would have been there 4 hours ago if I was playing. There's 25, 30 YouTubers in there of England. I'm on 1 million subscribers. I should be playing in that. I should be. But I'm not close enough to the YouTube community to play. And that's something I'm lacking. I'm too focused on myself and not on the bigger picture. And you grow with other people. And how you grow with other people is become friends with them. You know? And I never invested in other people, only myself. That's a mistake. Look at the Sidemen. It's 8 people, they've all helped each other to grow and known each other for years. It's not a one-man job.
I see what you're saying, because it's like you and I in this conversation, we've been pinging things at each other.
Yeah.
Saying, yeah, I can help you here, you can do this, I can do that, and then you growing.
Yeah.
From that alone. So yeah.
That's amazing, right? It's all about collabs. Everything in the YouTube game, they love it. They push it. When one creator does a video with another, you're mixing 2 characters. That's what life's about, meeting people. You've got to get yourself out there. I didn't do enough of that. I made it too much about me and my dad, and not about me, my dad, plus someone else. That's why podcasts are great. You always get a new guest on. It's creative, it's new, it's unique.
So what in your case, for instance, you get another, like the YouTube football vlogger.
Yes.
And then even if you're doing it over Zoom, you have a conversation about why you think this, and blah, 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 and a bit of banter.
100%. It's much better in person, because you can have more banter, and it feels more real for the viewer. But, yeah, like, not just even vloggers, like going to different markets of football, just people that are fans of football that like other things, that have different fan bases. So some of the Sidemen, most of their videos are 20 versus 1 Tinder videos where they go and have some banter with all the girls in the room, but they support football team. So if you get them on your channel, you bring a new audience to your channel, you get more subscribers, you get more views. But it's not about that. You're also making a friend in the community, and that's something to be remembered. There's a lot to be achieved. A lot to be achieved.
What would be your advice to somebody who's starting off?
Starting off, just within my market, okay, I would say, don't care what people say. I've dealt with that well. That's one thing I've dealt with, all right? Do not focus on the money, because that will come. If you smash it, that will come. I would say become really close friends with people in the game. But don't just be friends with them. Also understand that you need to understand when it's time to work. So you need to be able to say to them, okay, let's film a video together. Because you could be someone's best friend, but no one will know it. So there's no point in that. From a business perspective, you need to make content with them. So be friends with the people at the top of your own game. You've got to be close with them. You have to. It's how it works. If you suddenly think you have to be extraordinary at what you do to be able to think, screw you, screw this, screw that, and then make it to the top. You can't. You've almost got to be too good at what you do compared to everyone else. But if you're good at what you do, but you're friends with everyone, you grow. I said that's the difference for me.
I see what you're saying. So you basically grasp every opportunity.
Yeah, so, say yes to it. If you say no, you may have missed out on a massive path, like a domino effect.
Also,
imagine you say no to the first domino, and then it all doesn't fall. Nothing does. I think I've made that mistake. I think there's opportunities where I should have...
I made that mistake yesterday.
Really, yeah.
They're filming a new film.
Yeah.
There's a film in Deptford, Netflix are.
Wow.
And it's based on... It's all black cast, and it's based on black British superheroes.
Cool.
And they're spending 5.1 million per episode.
That's insane.
There's like hundreds of people with cameras and everything out there.
Yeah.
And one of the guys come in the shop, he needed a barber. And where he's coming to the barber thing, he's telling us all about it.
Yeah.
And I could have something said, just get at your phone and just get him to do a quick vlog with you, talking about what if, and just
100%.
big up the thing, and then hashtag him.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
I'd have smashed it.
And I didn't do it. I just sat there waiting for this trim.
Yeah.
And it's like,
even if they said no, at least you tried in your head.
Yeah.
For you there in that situation, you're now thinking, it's probably playing on your mind.
Yeah, because it's not the first time, but then other time I was in the Excel Centre looking at drones.
Yeah.
Because I do talk about mobile transport, drone taxis are coming out.
Amazing.
And stuff like that. And I bumped into another vlogger. I didn't know he's a vlogger. He's got this long stick with a 360 camera on the end.
Yeah, that's a real trend at the moment.
Yeah. So we got talking, and then I said, "Come on, let's." He's explaining. I said, "Wait a minute, let me get the phone out." We just did a vlog, and he's talking about it. I haven't even posted it yet. I'm just late. I need to send it to the guy.
Yeah,
but,
you should.
But yeah, just every opportunity. It's so true.
Smash it, and then once you get that momentum going, and people start putting the two different podcasts they watch together, they'll be like, "Yeah, hold on a second. I'm gonna subscribe to this guy. I'm gonna stick around to see what he does in the future," and that's when you upscale. It's really cool. I mean, you've hit a gap in the market doing Taxi Chronicles, because think about how many taxi drivers have amazing conversations, but no one ever hears of it again. Taxi drivers are famous for knowing information that nobody else knows, and early, because when you're on the move and it's just two people in the car, you get this weird mindset that you can do and say more.
Oh, tell me about
because you're in a private place. It's true.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to be doing a counselling course.
Yeah.
Because the amount of people, I've had people talk to me about why they should commit suicide.
Yeah.
People being kidnapped and raped, people surviving child abuse, people...
That's insane.
Just planning to murder someone.
Has that actually happened?
Yeah.
No
way.
way.
All these things, these are all in there. These people just talking.
That's just unbelievable.
So, telling some real kind of far out movie style story, lifestyle that they're going through.
I can imagine when people are commuting to work and stuff, they tune into something like this. It's just about marketing it now. You've got to get it out there on TikTok or Twitter.
That's another question.
Get the hashtag going.
You see, there's Instagram thing. I see them on billboards called Shits and Giggles.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Well, it doesn't either way. But they're being marketed like on billboards and bus stops, and I'm thinking, why? Because your organic. Joe Rogan speaks about this, where organic, you don't need them. You're growing anyway.
Yeah, you don't need that.
They're only piggyback.
That's just a flex. That's just to show to investors or something that they're the big bollocks. There's no reason why you need a billboard. That's not going to change anything. You get better off getting 10,000 views on TikTok, because people directly are looking at their phone, they see you, and they've got links there to go directly to it. When they see it on a billboard, they just keep driving. Like I think that's a real waste of money from them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend. There's much better ways of marketing it. That's the old way. The new way is social media.
Yeah, I suppose so. And are you on Facebook as well?
I'm not. I find that aging.
But you know what? I'm going to point out something to you.
Yeah.
I used to live in Kenya after I left the military here.
Yeah.
And Kenya, as in a lot of Africa, because when you buy a mobile phone, Facebook app comes on there straight away, and it's free data. It's the only app that the data's free. Mark Zuckerberg worked it because obviously it's big business, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the fastest growing population on the planet.
I get you. Yeah.
Africa,
Yeah.
So you grab them. So what I'm saying, there's a lot of, and the older generation, my generation, I'm in my mid-40s, they're still on Facebook. So you've got the older Bolton fans. So
that's a good point.
If you drop it on there,
I'm sure it would help you grow.
And
hit new markets.
And it doesn't hurt to be there, because you never know.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
If you're not there, if you're not in the game, you're never gonna get the ball, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that respect, so that's just why I was asking.
That's special. That is special. I need to check my phone to make sure that my friend is still meeting me there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all good.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Is there anything you ever wish you did different?
Yeah, 100%. One of the things I mentioned already was that I should have been more connective with creators earlier on. I'm making up for that now. I'm getting closer. I'm always up for collabs. I'm never going to say no. What else could I say? I want to move out. I want to force myself. I want to throw myself in the deep end. I feel like everything's too okay for me now. Everything's too comfortable. When you get comfortable, you get complacent, and then you fall off. You want to be testing your own... You want to be pushing yourself. You want to be living in a new area of London. You want to be living in a smaller apartment. You want to be pushing yourself. Then you do your own washing, do your own cooking. Because then you learn a routine that you don't rely on your mum, you don't rely on your dad, you rely on yourself. You get up, you work, you do this, you do that. I think I've not complete many things in life because I've sacrificed it to focus on YouTube. I've not passed my driving test. I've never done a degree. I don't have a girlfriend. So there's much more to life than what I've currently accomplished. The only thing I have is a good financial state, and I am pretty good at what I do. I try to think I am anyway, and people watch for me. But you miss out on very simple life opportunities because of this. So I want to be more normal soon. I want to do more normal stuff.
It's interesting.
What do you think?
I will say this,
Yeah.
and I'll probably get slandered for saying this.
Okay.
Not from you, from
Yeah.
women. Women will take your money. So don't rush for women. If you meet someone, you meet someone. And driving, driving license. I'm not saying this because I'm a taxi driver, what have you. You don't really need a license.
Yeah.
You don't really need to have to drive. It's a nice tool to have.
Yeah.
But if you're moving around in the Western countries where there's no problem with turmoil or whatever,
Public transport and stuff. Yeah.
and it's all stable, then stick to just doing the Ubers or what have you, because you're going for an appointment. You don't want to bother about finding a place to park, remember the congestion charge and ULEZ and all of that.
Added worries, right?
You want to be dropped out that door.
Yeah.
And picked up at the door at your time.
100%.
And then you're safe, because the most valuable thing for you right now, barring your family and yourself, is time. Do you see what I mean?
I do.
So that would be my...
It does make... Yeah.
So I never used to... When I came back from Kenya, I was away out of the country for 10 years. I never had a car. And I met this billionaire in Kenya.
Wow.
And I said to him, I know you're wealthy. Your family has so many mines and whatever, and dealing with like the top tier. There's stock exchange, there's different tiers. And
Okay.
like, he's like this privileged kind of Illuminati
Wow.
tier that they deal with, yeah? So I said, why don't you drive? He said, well, one, there's obviously there's corruption, and he couldn't be bothered with the police and all the problems. But he said, when you work it out, it saves time for me not to drive.
100%. And he's more focused on other things.
And he saves money.
Of course he saves money, yeah.
So that's, I was looked at it and I thought, yeah. So when I came back, I did public transport. And then obviously I started this job, so I got the car.
Yeah.
Unless I've got kids, or I've got kids, but they don't live here with me, they live in Kenya.
Yeah.
The younger ones, then I don't need a car. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'd say don't do things that make your life complicated, but you can get your driving license.
Yeah. If there's one thing you could recommend to me that I should do now, what is it? From a more experienced head.
In the sense of vlogging.
Just life or...
Yeah, in the sense of YouTube, there's nothing really I can say to
Yeah,
you, because
fine.
you're down the road way down the road further than I am. But in a sense of life, I'd say I heard someone say actually on YouTube, do something every day that makes you feel uncomfortable, that pushes you your limits.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that means you're always going beyond that boundary.
Yep.
You're always learning, because as adults we learn from pain and suffering.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in suffering all the time, but if you're always in that safe bubble,
You'll never move.
yeah, you're not really growing. You're not really thing. And so it's just like, it's like what you said about taking opportunities. I should have took that opportunity.
What do you think about the sentence, fake it till you make it? Because to an extent, there's reality in that.
I wouldn't.
Not
Yeah,
fake
alright,
it. This is what I would say is true.
Go on.
Push for everything you want.
Yeah.
And sometimes bending the truth get you what you want.
All right. There's a couple of ways to look at that. If you're like an Instagram model or something where you're faking it till you make it, you're making out you're a millionaire,
Yeah.
and you're just hoping people are liking you
Yeah.
to give you more likes, to give you more money. That is real, I'd say, faking till you make it, and I think that's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Because you haven't really got content. But if you're saying, well, my goal is to get 1 million, 2 million subscribers by the end of the year, and this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push and push and push and behave like I've got 2 million. So when I get to that point, it's naturally flowing. But by the time I get to that point, I'm going to aim for 3 million. Do you see what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
But that's not faking it till you make it. That's like, no, this is my goal, and I need to learn to live in that way,
Yeah.
as if I got 2 million. And when I say live, I don't mean like finance and clothes and jewelry and all that crap. I mean, how are you going to structure your business?
Yeah.
Who are you going to have employed? You know, how are you managing your time? Because those are the key things.
I get you. I do.
And I can't stress time enough.
Yeah.
Because time enough for life experience is it's all about time.
It is. It is.
If you see what I mean. But yeah, I'm not really that whole I look, fake it till you make it is because
What I'm saying is, if you're trying to get someone on, let's say you've got a podcast and you want to get a big guest on, you tell them you're going to get someone else big on, and that convinces them in, and then they drop out last minute.
No, I'll tell
You wouldn't do it.
You know why I wouldn't do it? Because it's your reputation.
Okay.
And also, I spoke to lots of people who employ, like I remember one woman distinctly, she has 700 influencers on her account.
Wow.
That she deals with. She had 350 or something like that, or 250.
I don't know how you do that, by the way.
Before lockdown. So her job is just to deal with, she works for a makeup brand.
Okay.
And now she had 250, and then by lockdown she went to 700. And
She's just constantly on her phone.
Yeah, crazy, all these women and all this kind of stuff and what have you. And she said, when an influencer comes to me and demands money or demands this, and they're young.
Yeah.
And not being patronising young people. He said a lot of the young people today, they believe they're worth more than they are. And they have an entitled attitude. She said, all I do is go on their analytics and look at how many subscribers, how many this, how many views, blah, 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 and see their last guess. And I make my decision, because it's got to be a quick decision.
Yeah.
So they can she can see very quickly what you're really about. So it
just shows the people that make big decisions aren't overthinking things. They're just looking at the quick and easy.
Yeah, very simple. And if you lie to someone, you've lost all credibility with them. Especially because she said the minimum rate for an advert is £2,000. Well, you probably know. I don't know if you've got adverts on your channel yet.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's a big part of my revenues.
Yeah, so £2,000 for one advert for 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to do an advert every day. It's 60,000.
But you're not going to get adverts every day.
No, we're makeup industry.
Really?
Depending on how many subscribers you got.
That's crazy, man.
Women hold 70 or 80% of the consumer debt for retail industry.
Really?
So they're the ones who are doing all the shopping. They're the ones who bend over backwards, get credit cards and all those kind of things to get what they want.
There's a lot of ways of making money as a woman. People say there isn't.
Of course there is.
There's way more in certain markets than men.
And also,
it's just about finding it. For me, YouTube was a massive find. It was just like a market that was untouched when I started.
Yeah. My other podcast is Africa Investor Stories.
Yeah.
So from my experience living in Africa, I interview people.
Cool.
Who've invested in Africa, and they talk about what it's real. Now, I've looked on YouTube to see if people are talking about that. Now, people are interested, but no one's actually doing that yet. But I need to manage my time so I can really push that.
Yeah, well, it's cool.
I'd love to take a month or a week off at the very minimum and just really push that.
Schedule in loads of different African investors.
Yeah, because I've got lords who I can interview.
You should interview the guy that nearly bought Arsenal. What's he called? The Sugar. What's the guy?
Alan Sugar.
No. They call him Sugar Man in Africa.
Okay.
He's like, I think he's from Gambia.
Okay.
I forgot his name, but he literally runs the sugar market in the country. And my dad once went to his my dad has done some business in Africa before.
Okay.
And he told me he went to his house and he went to his birthday party and it was just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone watching this will be screaming the name. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and stuff. But so what does it? I know you've answered lots of questions. What does the future hold for you?
If you ask a YouTuber what the future holds, it's a very difficult answer because you don't know what's going to happen with YouTube and other social media platforms. I will just continue to run the wave, and then if I see an opportunity, I will be on it. That's what I will say. Maybe that option is to go into mainstream TV, but is that going backwards? Is that not the move? That might not be it. It's high production, really high quality, big names, and they have the ownership of the actual football content matches. But YouTube's growing, TikTok's growing, the other social medias are taking over. So why should you be so focused on things that are falling away, in a way?
What was interesting is people under 35 don't watch the news. They mainly they don't really even watch TV.
Only in key moments, like if the Queen's died or something like that.
They don't really watch TV unless it's like football or something specific. So
because you can get your news off Twitter.
And people will do like Sky officially. There's people who put cracks out for Sky so you can watch the boxing and watch the football over the internet. So they're also, dealing with that. So what I'm thinking is that when you're talking about going into TV, it's like it might be a bit backwards or sideways.
100%, yeah.
Because I think
it really could be, even though you think in the moment.
Yeah, the future's in this thing, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but I just look at it like, the YouTube thing's working. What I want to ask you about is, and this may not have affected you, is warnings from YouTube.
Yeah.
Or any social media. Now
it's a very scary thing.
Yeah, my topics cover anything because it's Taxi Chronicles.
Yeah.
So I spoke about COVID to people spoke about all these things. I think I'm on my second strike.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They're coming for you.
No, but I don't talk about COVID or anything anymore. But,
yeah.
This is a while ago and stuff.
Wow, so they actually watched it out and heard what you said and disagreed.
No, they don't watch it. They just say this is
a topic that you shouldn't be speaking of, or pretty
that
much
kind of thing. And I'm like, and I don't really check the background thing. You'll probably really understand YouTube. I'm quite lost. What young people do today, old people do tomorrow, kind of thing. So I need to catch up. How have you found? Have you found that you've had any restrictions? I know you just talk about football, or any people saying that's not your content, or
personally for me, I would honestly say that I've been on very good books with YouTube, and they choose my CPM. They choose how much I get paid per 1,000 views. They choose how much they push my content.
Oh, is it?
So they're of a lot of value to me. You have to be very kind. In fact, the event I'm going to now, I'm going to be meeting up with someone who works for YouTube, Google, and I'm willing to do stuff for him for free. I'm willing to help him out because I know it will help me and my channel grow because they can push me more. They have the power. They're like my boss, indirectly. So I have no strikes on YouTube. I've not had any strikes for a while. My bigger problem is the Premier League.
You say for a while?
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean? So what was your strikes about before?
My strikes were showing match footage from the Sky cameras. So it's taking a snippet from TV and using it in a game. They hate that.
Oh, is it?
They hate that, yeah.
Because I saw, is it Sky hate that, or
Sky have the ownership to it, and when other people do it, it gets taken down off YouTube because YouTube could be in a law case, a lawsuit.
Legal,
because when you sign to a YouTube channel, they basically oblige you that if you do something wrong, it's your fault. Yeah.
Well, I see what you're saying. That's quite interesting there. So that just happened once? Because I see on the drop, once you upload something on YouTube, there's that drop down box says all talking about the US. Has it been shown on TV in the US? Is this a paid advert? All that kind of thing. They never say anything about England, and they don't say anything about Sky.
That's interesting.
So wondering how they're making coming at you about that.
Well, Sky aren't directly. The Premier League are. They are the ones who film the content, and they have sometimes problems with their broadcasters. So you need to be careful. That's my only risk. Everything else is great, and not making mistakes is another thing. You got to be careful what you say and do. You got to make sure you speak about good, topical and good knowledge about things. So yeah, there's lots of tests within what I do, lots of competition. Let's see where it takes me, really.
Yeah, okay.
It's really exciting.
Oh, that's good, that's good.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to an old sweat like me?
Just keep at it. You may think at your age, you may think, oh, you know what? I've really enjoyed this podcast stuff, but it's time to focus on other things I'm getting on. There's no I'm getting on. There's no age to any. If I was 50 years old, I'd still be doing this. And, I just made it into YouTube and things were going well. I would just continue at it, smash it up, because you never know at what point where it just goes viral. You could be mining to find the gold, and the moment before you find it, you stop. You know what I mean? And then you never find that gold, even though you're a second away from it. So just keep at it, keep consistent, keep trying until you literally can't give anything more. Until you're backed into a corner where you have to stop. There's never an option of failure. It's just giving in.
What motivates you? You seem highly motivated.
I'm motivated because I know there's still more to complete. There's more end goals. I've definitely not conquered the YouTube game. That I could definitely, if I wanted to, I could go to a boxing match and I could sell pay-per-view tickets, and that'll probably be something cool that I do in my life. I could release a song. I'm not going to do that, but there's so many different options of what things you can do in life that I haven't done yet, and that's what keeps me motivated to see what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
You could go onto YouTube. You could get a following on your podcast and go to different social medias. And you could get a sponsor who sponsors 20 episodes and they pay you X amount per episode just to shout you out at the start. You could have several sponsors in one podcast.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of podcasts do.
Manscaped
One in the middle.
hit me up
Yeah.
about 6 months, 8
That's good.
months ago.
Yeah.
And they said, how many views? They said, we're interested in working with you. They're working with Joe Rogan now, so I don't think they come back to me. But
Yeah.
They said, well, come back to us once you get 500 views per episode.
Okay.
Now, this wasn't just YouTube, but then overall, between TikTok, Spotify, all that, I get the 500. But I'm not sure if they'd count it like
But
that.
it won't be long until you're at 500. But I think for you at this stage, it's not about the money. It's about the growth. And the money comes with the growth. So as long as you're focused on the growth, it will happen.
Yeah.
Right now for you, it's like a hobby, pretty much.
Yeah, it's an expensive hobby, so I invest.
I bet. Yeah.
I invest.
But the great thing is you're doing two jobs at once. You're doing the podcast and you're doing the taxi. You're earning from the taxi, you're earning from... So you are clever with how you're doing it.
Yeah.
You could, I mean, your next upgrade could literally be a camera, and then you can start putting clips on TikTok. Get your editor to do some extra work.
Yeah, but you know, the only thing why I thought about that, but I didn't, is because syncing with the audio and...
Right. But there's ways around that. You can't let that stop you from... There's very easy ways to sync audio to a video clip.
Yeah, but with the movement and the driving and between the passenger and I... But that's what...
It's all doable.
Yeah.
It's
I
all
suppose
doable.
say, yeah, you've got a can-do attitude. I'm looking at reasons why I can't instead of reasons why I
Yeah,
can.
exactly.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it's the one reason you're giving. I mean, it just takes one Google search or YouTube search. How do I link this and that? Or ask your editor to know how to do it. If you don't know that, then find another editor. Then there's always a way. I am at fault. As much as you're saying, well, but you're looking at it from a different perspective. I'm at fault for doing exactly what you do. And in different markets, in different niches, where I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't know how this, I don't have that, I have a studio, so how can I get guests on every week? There's always ways of making things happen.
Yeah, I read this meme with Richard Branson's face on, and it said, if someone offers you a job or opportunity or contract, you don't know how to do it, accept it and find out how to do it.
Yeah. Say yes first. Yeah. Your gut will often be right with these things. You just have to send it.
Yeah.
There's no better advice.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
As long as you're putting time into the right places, then your success will come. That's how I see it.
What position do you play when you play football?
I play central midfield.
Okay, so you like a captain? No, a captain?
I think I'm a leader. Yeah, I call myself the captain, even though I'm not captain on paper. Because I'm the only one talking on the pitch. I like to make friends with this is one of my little tactics. I like to be friendly with the referee. I like to become friends with the ref, no matter who they are. I work out their character. Because I have more of a social side to most people on the pitch, right? So I become friends with the ref, then decisions start going your way. And when you're centre mid, you control everything. You control the tempo. That's why I enjoy it.
Okay.
You see the game's going. That's why so many central midfielders are captains.
Oh.
I like the mind battle of football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a mind battle. I didn't even look at
Absolutely, there's a mind battle, yeah.
it. I didn't even look at it like that.
There's so many different ways of thinking about it. It's cool.
The times when you thought you were going to give up,
Yeah.
what was the trigger that made you just carry on?
Waking up the next day, feeling better, and thinking, screw it, we go again. I've seen... and this is another thing, knowing what you're doing is better than the person that you're competing against. And even though they get more views, you know time always pays off, and they pay to the ones who care more, put more effort in, put more time in. If you're trying harder than someone else, you will be successful. Even if they are in the short term, you will become the one. I'm sure of that. I'm so convinced by that. I've seen it happen so many times.
Okay. with the comments, you
Yeah.
know, you can put on only positive
Yeah.
comments. I don't. I just put all.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear what people are saying.
I put all as well.
Yeah, because I want to hear. If people are hating, I
Yeah.
want to hear it.
And do you know
Because
what?
may
When
have
people
a
are
point.
hating, not only would they hear a point, but also you don't have to respond to it, but it's good to hear from your biggest enemy, because then you can find out how they're going to make their next move. So when you next make a big decision or a video, you automatically think in your head, okay, well, I know how my biggest hater is going to try and get something out of this. And that is a very, very good thing to have, because you prepare yourself for the worst mentally. You see what I mean? And another great thing is more interactions equals YouTube push it more, so you get more views and you grow more.
Yeah, especially in the comment.
Yep.
Because I see what you're saying. So my African investor,
Yeah.
I pinned a question: would you invest in Africa? If not, why not? And if so, why?
Yeah.
And I did a poll,
Okay.
and get a lot of comments.
You do.
And some people just say, no, Africa's corrupt. And I said, right, I'm going to respond to that, but I haven't really jumped back on
Don't
it.
respond to it on a comment. Do it on an actual podcast if
Yeah,
you think it's a
that's
talking topic.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's the
gonna
better way to do it.
do. Yeah.
Because then you don't give that person the attention, you give your whole audience, and you make it something that you're actually doing and growing from.
Yeah, and then you can tag that person in.
Of course you can.
Yeah, you can tag. So blah, blah, blah says, quite a few people to tag on that one.
Yeah, I bet. That's really, you want to get the comments going. You want to start something in the comments. I went to Qatar I was working with a tourism agency in Qatar.
All
promoting
through your YouTube.
Yeah, and I did a video.
You've gone far, man. I'm
Yeah.
impressed. I'm happy for you. I'm impressed.
I did a video on Qatar and going there, talking about the World Cup stadiums, and I got absolutely crucified in the comment section. Crucified.
Why?
Because they were like, oh, but you don't know about the human rights and how workers have been dying from building those stadiums.
What's that got to do with football?
Exactly.
We're talking
And
about the game.
And
Politics, man.
what am I going to, like, I'm sure if people got the same opportunity as me, they'd say yes. So why are they the ones to be... And also, when the World Cup comes around, they'll be turning on the screens. So they'll still technically be supporting the same thing as me. Yet they feel as if they have this
You know, it's
opinion.
What's ironic about that?
Yeah.
They say that using their iPhones built in sweatshops.
There you go. Good point. Good point.
Really?
And they're wearing the clothes that were made in sweatshops as well. It's everything.
Yeah, it's like, really? That's
Everything.
all it means.
It's the
You
way
should vlog.
corporations
You
work.
should do a
Yeah, but the
vlog
problem
of-
is once you say that is they want to bite back again, and then
it doesn't matter.
you
It's
just
all-
put it to bed. You
what
put it
did
to bed.
Say? It's all communication. What's that word that you used? It's all.
Oh, it's all for clicks. Yeah, I see what you mean.
All,
I get you. It gets more engagement. Yeah, it gets more views.
More, thank you, engagement. Yeah, just do that thing. Let them know, and then.
Yeah,
just take
but
it.
then it gets to a point where you've got to be careful, because then the brands and the people, the official people, start seeing what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Like if Sky see me clapping back at human rights things, then they're going to get angry. If I do Qatar and I just leave it at that, then fair enough. But if I start making a video defending Qatar, then you get more haters.
Oh yeah, because you're
And more backlash.
You're partnering. With
Yeah,
them,
and you do grow, and you're within more faces, but it's a risky game you got to play.
Yeah, you're
So-
stepping on eggshells.
That is the thing. There's always an eye on you. You can't ever make a mistake.
You gotta be like Joe Rogan when you've got a friend who's
Oh.
a billionaire or just buy
Yeah.
the channel.
Yeah,
over
literally,
buy
mate.
Twitter.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Oh, they're hitting me, man. Don't worry, I'll buy
Oh.
them tomorrow. Tell her what's up, man. Yeah,
Joe Rogan gets a lot of stick though, doesn't he?
yeah.
I feel for him.
And I don't, because I don't feel for him because he can take it.
He can take it,
And I think
but he gets crucified like proper.
no, but he's got people who defend him to the
True.
to the hill. So
Yeah,
we see one side, but there's people who are just dedicated to thing. And I suppose in time, any vlogger, any podcaster, that's what you want. You want the people who say no.
yeah,
Because at the same time, I had a black taxi driver, the black cab
Yeah.
thing. And he goes, oh, you're not a taxi driver, you're a PCV or PCO driver. And all this, and I just went, thanks.
yeah. It's just idiotic.
That's
It's idiotic. This whole cab thing is a joke.
Yeah, but at the same time, I had another person who come on there and said, this content is really quality. Because what I do, I take the audio of this conversation
Yeah.
and I attach it to a journey of London that I was already pre-recorded I've done. And on that journey of London, it names all the historical places. So this place, it would be saying Greenwich Baths. I know this is a baths.
That's really
Greenwich
cool.
Library, and it would say the dates it was built and everything.
That's amazing, yeah.
And then you're also listening to the audio of the conversation.
I didn't know you had the ability to do something like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
No, it's all I did was record the journey, put my iPhone or the phone and record it.
Yeah.
And then I went on Google Maps and I just click in on the route and see what building's historical. So it takes a while.
Yeah.
But once it's done, it's done.
There must be an automatic version of doing that as well. Okay. In the future, you got to think about that.
Well, I suppose the automatic version, maybe it might not say the dates.
Or an editor can do that, to be fair.
Oh, I see what I mean.
Yeah. They'd like tracked your location. They knew when you went live, and they could just do it automatically. You wouldn't have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
There's always ways.
Yeah, that's interesting. You could try and do a collab with Google.
Yeah.
And have historical data put on every building.
Imagine. But there aren't many of you. There aren't many people doing taxi podcasts. And I find them awesome. Yeah, they should do it more.
Yeah.
Do you ever get people that say no to you?
Yeah. ND, non-disclosure things.
What if you say that? Okay, I'll change my voice.
No, well, I've said that before, and some people think, but what the bigger thing is really that obviously no one wants to lose their job over a taxi ride.
Yeah.
And I usually say, okay, tell me, and then I'll talk about it later on. Do you see what I mean? So when they talked about 5G, they've talked about some government thing, or the guy was wanted by the police and he's telling me his story. I just got to remember the story. Sometimes I mess up the story.
Yeah, I bet.
That's it's one way to do it in that respect, because we've got a short period of time.
Of course.
This has been a long journey.
Yeah.
But normally it's 5 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, you've got to get a lot in.
Yeah, you've got to get a lot in. You've got to take their details at the end. Get them to take a selfie or whatever with the mic and all these different kind of things and stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So where are we now? Greenwich?
Yeah, we're at Greenwich now.
Go through the park?
Here. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But you live in London now?
I do live in London now. We have done for the last 8-9 years.
Okay.
In northwest London, a place called West Hampstead.
Okay.
Really comfortable, maybe too comfortable. It almost makes me want to leave.
But you know what I was thinking? I don't know how much money you earn and stuff. You probably earn quite a deal. Did you hear about that TikTok guy? He's an African guy.
Yeah.
Senegalese. He doesn't talk. And
what?
He's the biggest got the biggest following.
He doesn't talk. Oh yeah, Carby
Lane. Is it
yeah,
Lane? Yeah,
Carby Lane.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yeah, 700, and he gets paid 750,000 advert or whatever.
Yeah, an advert. Yeah. It's insane. He's absolutely cracked the code. He's on the face of so many big corporates now. He's in adverts. He's fully made it. Hanging out with the biggest footballers.
He was working in a factory.
Yeah.
Like last week.
That shows, right? A grafter.
Yeah.
Grafter.
Yeah.
Doesn't come easy. You have to stay at it, and he did. And it's a real story.
Well, you're in the factory, you got nothing else to do.
When he had his first big video that had a few million views, he woke up the next morning and did it again, and he did it again, and he did it again, until he was so big that it was, he smashed it.
I haven't actually seen his video yet, though.
I've seen a lot of his TikToks.
Is it?
He just goes like this. He just goes like this to simple things. He puts his hands out and says, "This is how you should do it." So like people would put I don't know, they'd eat something with a spoon to try and be cool, and then he'd just grab a fork and do it simple way and go like that, and be like, "Yeah, just do things the simple way." It's hard to explain without it.
He doesn't say it. But that's why the corporates love him, because it's like for people with disability.
Yeah.
It covers for them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And that kind of thing. Yeah, that's really good. But we're coming to the end of the journey now.
We are, yeah. It's been a pleasure, mate. I got into this car, I had no idea about this podcast, and all of a sudden, we've spoken about my life, my journey, my career. I feel like I've got a whole new perspective on everything.
Well, you've taught me a lot. You've given me a lot of insight.
Oh,
grab the opportunity.
Try my best, man.
Grab the opportunity.
For a 21-year-old kid, I think I've, because of what I do, I think it's fair to say I know a couple things.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, guys, the audience out there, he does look very young. So when he did say he's a presenter,
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I bet. Yeah.
How do you? But it's a youthful
Football presenter and YouTuber.
For the ladies out there, when he's older, he's
Get
still
in.
going to have a toy boy.
That's a very good point. And I hope there are ladies watching this. You know where to find me.
So yeah, remind us, where can we find you?
Thogden, Thogden, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, whatever you want, find it. My main platform's YouTube though.
And it's Bolton, and it's for Bolton football team.
Bolton football team, but now it's become Premier League, the top leagues, European content, World Cup coming up, all the big football experiences.
Yeah, and you're going to see him doing collaborations with all the other big football bloggers.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen. I've told you my aims. I've told you. Exclusively.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for that.
Thank you. Big up the Taxi Chronicles podcast.
Thanks.
See you in a bit.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channel. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.